from NBC News, this is Today with Katie Couric and Matt Lauer. Live.
Chances are you've heard of fantasy football. Well, if you haven't, the idea is to pick a dream team of players, then compete against your buddies for points scored in actual games throughout the season. Well, for some men, it's pure heaven, but for a lot of women, that's another story. Our national correspondent, Melissa Stark, has more. Hey, Melissa.
Hi, Al. I'm sure you know all about this. If cold pizza, warm beer, and a living room full of screaming men sounds like a typical Sunday in your house, then you'll relate to the women I recently caught up with. Tired of their husbands having all the fun, they came up with a fantasy game of their own.
They call themselves football widows. You know, women who lose their husbands every Sunday to the couch, the remote, and a game of football. It's a role Erica Solomon, 30-year-old mother of two, knows all too well.
Sunday equals football in my household, you know, and then later in the season, Saturdays equal football, and Monday night equals football. My daughter knew like touchdown before she knew bye-bye.
She and her family live outside Philadelphia, and her husband Neil is a diehard Eagles fan.
You scored a touchdown.
Right around the time that my son was born, he started playing fantasy football, and I was like, we have a newborn, who cares which running back you're going to play?
Erica wasn't really into the sport, but she thought there might be something to the game. She began to brainstorm about how she could spend her Sundays while men in shoulder pads entertained her husband.
Okay.
And an idea was born: fantasy fashion.
Instead of a quarterback and a running back, you get a shoe designer and a handbag designer.
It was easy. She knew as much about couture as her husband knew about the gridiron.
Whether you shop at Barney's or Target, fashion and style is just something that you're drawn to.
And they're drawn to it the same way men are drawn to football.
Exactly.
She decided to form an official fantasy fashion league, complete with a draft, points, and prizes. A league consists of 6 ladies, each with her own team. A team is made up of 10 designers and celebrities. Oscar de la Renta, Vera Wang, and Giorgio Armani. These are your players.
Fashion is about exposure, so the more exposure that your designer gets, the more points you're going to get. That's daily fashion headlines, magazine coverage, and red carpet.
The game is tracked on a Fantasy Fashion League website. The grand prize, a $1,000 shopping spree.
So I'm a mom, life's kind of crazy. Is this something that's easy for me to do?
That's a good point, because you don't have to track the points. We track all the points. So you just get on and say, oh wow, look, you know, Courtney Cox wore Carolina Herrera on the cover of InStyle. I got 25 points because Carolina Herrera is on my team.
Fashion designer Liz Lang was even recruited as a scout.
I cannot get over the women that are playing this game. They are incredible. I mean, they know things about these designers, frankly, that I don't. They should be the scout.
We decided to catch up with some of these fantasy fashionistas at a pajama draft party.
So is tonight going to get a little competitive, do you think?
Yeah, I think.
They pick,
Prada, very nice.
they choose,
And I'm going to go for shoes, and I'm going to choose Jimmy Choo.
and they talk game strategy.
Right now, I would like, do you have any Desperate Housewives, for example?
No.
Pick up a Desperate Housewife, because
For Erica,
you can,
fantasy fashion is about more than just magazines and award shows.
I also think that it gives you access to this world of fashion. Not all of us have anything by Vera Wang in our closet, but all of a sudden Vera Wang is a part of your world.
Favorite.
That sounds cute.
And perhaps most important, it's a game of their own.
You're eating your snacks, or you know, having a drink, and you say, how about I give you my Versace for your Armani?
But instead of chips and beer, you have wine and
cheese.
And cheese, exactly. A little daintier. And also, men are probably so tired of their wives nagging them.
That's what my husband always said. He's like, I think this will save marriages. You know, they're off our backs, they're doing their own thing, and so happy, and now they get it.
And they even have a season. If you're interested in getting in on the game, there's still time to join. Go to fantasyfashionleague.com. The fun starts this weekend with the Emmys, ends with the Super Bowl of fashion, the Oscars. And men can play too.
Okay, well, of course, not that there's anything wrong with
There
it.
you go.
And welcome back, by the way.
Thank you
had
very
a little
much.
Boy, another little boy?
Another little boy, Jackson.
All right. Good to see you again, Melissa.
Thanks.
Now let's head outside to say hi to Alexis.
Thanks, Al. This morning on